Our goal with the GT4 has been to build one that can surpass a GT4 RS and potentially get close to a GT3 RS around the track. It's been quite an ambitious goal, but we've been making upgrades to our GT4 incrementally throughout the course of the series to get more grip out the chassis and to get it even faster out on circuit. So today, we're going to be going head to head with a stock 991 GT3 RS out on track here at Donington Park to see just how close we've actually come with the GT4. And we have no idea what the results are going to be. So we're actually really excited about this video today because no matter the result, we're really interested how close to the on-track performance of a 9913 RS our GT4 has got. The plan to beat a GT3 RS around track has not been purely focused on power, although we have remapped the car, so we are up close to GT4 RS power numbers now with 484 at the flywheel, but we still don't match the 3RS in terms of power and in terms of rev range as well, and it definitely has superior gear ratios. So our focus has definitely been on suspension modifications as we've moved throughout the series to get even more on-track performance. We started the build with just adjusting the standard suspension to get as much as possible out of the stock system using the adjustment that the car comes with, which is ride height, anti-roll bars, camber and toe. Then, to take the car the next step further, we installed front camber plates and rear toe arms, and this allowed us to get even more camber out of the entire car and start using the tyre much more effectively out on track. When we did this, it made the car feel a lot softer out on track because we were getting so much more grip back through the tyre, and it was causing the chassis to move around a lot more. So the next step was to install stiffer springs, lower the car, and also fit the bump steer tyre ends to delete the bump steer from the system. When we did this, we got a much more stable, confidence-inspiring chassis, and the differences at that point were absolutely massive. The next steps were then to install solid bushes to prevent any geometry from moving around whilst we were out on track and get a lot more stability under heavy braking. When that was complete, we then decided to get as close to the tyres on a GT3 RS as possible, and then what we did was actually match that by getting a 325 rear section tyre and a 265 front section tyre in the stock bodywork using our offset rear top mount stage 2 top mounts and our kinematics kit on the front as well to get those wheels inside the arches and get all of that grip from all of that contact patch. Recently, we've then fitted the Moton 3-way coilovers to get the chassis perfectly dialed in out on track and just fine-tune the balance of the car on corner entry, corner exit, and also get the pitch of the car exactly under control just where we want it. And here we are today with all of those modifications done, and it's time to see exactly how close we've come to the GT3 RS. So why are we looking to compete against a GT3 RS? Well, the reason is simply that this is considered one of the best ultimate driving machines in the world, and it's engineered for track use, and it's basically a race car on the road. So we want to see how close we can get a GT4, which is a lot different in price point, up to the top tier car in the Porsche range, that is the GT3 RS. Now this GT3 RS is actually our latest development car. We already make a lot of upgrades for this chassis, but we want to get our own one so we could push this to the absolute limit this year and see exactly what this entire car is capable of when we get our upgrades fitted to it. So that's going to be a lot more videos later in the year on a completely new series for the GT3 RS. Now the last time we went head to head with a car was at Spa, and it was a 992 GT3 RS, and that outperformed us in the high speed sections and in the braking zones, mainly due to its massive advancements in aerodynamics and also the wider section tyres that are even wider than on the 991 GT3 RS. Since then, we've done a lot more upgrades to the GT4, so we know we've improved its on-track performance even more than when we were at Spa about a year ago to date. So we thought now is the perfect opportunity to go head-to-head with a 991 GT3 RS in completely standard format before we make any modifications to it. This is the complete factory setup as it comes out the box, so we're going to put it on track today against the GT4 and see just how close we've come in terms of performance. So we have the GT4 on the left screen and the GT3 RS on the right screen. So to get the cleanest data possible for this run, we actually closed Donington Park down for these two runs so that we could get no traffic out there whatsoever, and Chris could go full chat in both cars with no obstructions, as we know that traffic does impede our side-by-side sometimes, whereas this is the cleanest side-by-side we could give you around a circuit. So the GT4 obviously having the 325 and 265 tyre fitment using our stage 2 kinematics kit. The 3RS has that as standard, but what we can see immediately is the GT4's ability to carry more speed through the corner and also get back on the throttle sooner on corner exit. And what this means is we're actually gaining on the 3RS through every single corner so that when we get to a straight, we can see that the GT3 RS's power and gear ratios really start reeling us back in. So this straight here will show that exactly what we mean. Back on the power soon in the GT4, carrying more apex speed in the GT4, and now the 3RS starts to get away from us. The power and the gear ratio starts to really push ahead and gets a few miles an hour ahead on the bigger straights every single time. But then back into the corners, we're later on the brakes, we're through the corner with a higher average speed, and we're back on the throttle sooner. So it just gives us the jump on the 3RS, so that when it inevitably reels us back in on the straighter sections, it means that we're already far enough ahead so that all it can do is catch up, and then again in the next corner we push away again, and then it catches back up. So it really is neck and neck this entire lap, and it's really cool to see that we're able to carry all of that additional speed around the circuit itself. Through the corners is where we want to be, really showing our strengths, and that is where it clearly steps ahead of the 3RS. So it's really nice to see that we've been able to get up to the performance of a 3RS, especially by pushing away in its cornering ability, so that the thing that we're always going to be down on, which is power, which is aero, which is gear ratio, because it's the manual 6-speed and it's always held this car back since we got it out on track, is that we can make up for all of those downfalls through sheer cornering ability, which it is showing on this lap. And by end of play, we had an extremely close lap time with the GT3 RS, so we're very, very happy with the results shown here, because we had no traffic in the way, so we can have the cleanest laps comparable. We have also gone faster around Donington. We've been in the 139s in the GT4, but every day has different weather conditions, so the tarmac will respond differently, the tyre will work differently, so that's why we did it on the same day within a 20-minute session, so you had direct side-by-side of each car, and that was really important for us to get the exact same condition. They're both on fresh tyres, so we can see exactly what these are going to be capable of on the day. So we've just come in now from the GT4 on the closed session to get that direct before and after with absolutely no traffic, which has been an absolute dream, because every time we do this sort of thing, there's always traffic. We're always on the onboard saying, oh yeah, but there's traffic, so we don't really know how well it had been. Whereas today we thought, right, let's get the closed sessions, let's head out with no one else on track, so we can see exactly how close these two cars are, because that's been a bit of a pinnacle and a bit of a target throughout this build. Yeah. And I mean, we've looked because we couldn't not look, and I'm genuinely blown away how close that is. I didn't know how today was going to turn out, but I mean, we're 0.1 of a second off that car.
Yeah, it's actually 0.09, so we're within that, and you know, that could be the, you know, literally the difference from hopping out one and just the sun's come out. So yeah, it's been eye-opening, I think, actually. You know, the fact that we've managed to get a Cayman that close, and don't forget, this is manual. I know. You know, that's probably costing us a third of a second.
It's a big Achilles heel. Yeah.
You know, not just because of the gear ratios are wrong, but actually just the shift time.
Yeah. If that was a PDK car, I think it would have been ahead of that.
Yes, I think it would be quarter of a second ahead at least.
Yeah.
If it was pure PDK, which would have been quite impressive. You know, balance-wise, yeah, it's funny. You know, I've not driven a stock 991 or even a 3RS for a long time now, because everyone's got, you know, our bits on, which has been fantastic. And it actually, yeah, there is quite a compromise in that car. You know, the front end isn't as good as I remembered it being.
No, I know. It felt like stepping back in time a bit for me.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, actually, I feel like I should be able to get on the gas, but I've got to roll it around the corner a little bit longer and then get on the power. Otherwise, it is going to lift slightly and just push out, not a huge amount, but enough to, I just have to delay that, which is, you know, what we've eliminated in this car.
Yep.
And just, you know, a little bit on the back end as well, just chasing it. That could be, you know, a little bit of just, you know, I want to push on a little bit, but you sort of try and rein it back, and, you know, the lap times are the same. So it has been eye-opening just how close they are, and what a step that we can put on everything.
We're nearly 20 horsepower down as well. So we've got 20 horsepower down. We're about 1,000 revs under as well.
I mean, horsepower here is key. You know, we're climbing from Old Hairpin all the way back up the hill. It's power.
Yeah, exactly. So this really shows how much we've sort of advanced the Cayman chassis through the corners to keep up with something like that and have that gearbox difference. Yeah. I mean, I'm really, really chuffed with how well that's done today. And we're not even finished yet. So we've still got the aero modifications to come.
That's it, you know, even stock, even on the 3RS, it's still running more points of downforce than the stock Cayman downforce. So, you know, if we're thinking about that, then actually, there's even more to come from here. Yeah. And actually paints it in a better picture, because then, you know, if we're still doing the lap time there with less power, we're punching even more because we're putting a bit of drag on the car.
Yeah, exactly. And I've driven both of these as well now, and like I really enjoyed driving the 3RS. The experience was quite visceral. It has like a different noise to it.
I tell you what, when you get back in a .1, you're like, oh, where's those bloody filters they put on the latest
I know, cars. It feels like sort of the peak of sort of Porsche engineering when you're in there. Yeah. But then I much preferred driving this one. I don't know if I'm just more comfortable in there, but the balance, like when it starts to get a bit out of shape when you're really pushing on, I feel so much more comfortable in the GT4 chassis when that's happening than I do in a 3RS, and I think it's just that engine placement and that sort of pendulum effect.
Yeah, even my first laps, and bear in mind I spend most of my life in a 3RS nowadays. You get back into the mid-engine car and you just feel it is better. You know, there is a compromise. The engine's totally in the wrong place, so we are just like, yeah, that's fine. But when you hop into a GT4 and you think, oh yeah, we've got that sensation. You do feel more comfortable, and for everyone else driving the car, you're going to respond to that, and you're going to feel more comfortable to push it. Whereas if you're in the 3RS, and if it just moves a little bit, all that pendulum swing at the back, you're just thinking, oh, can't I? So having a better balanced platform is just going to make everything more comfortable, give you more opportunity to have fun on your days and feel like you're pushing on just that little bit more as well, which, we're here to feel alive, and that's what it's going to come from.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, again, really pleased with the fact that it's basically the same pace as that car, both on Cup 2s as well, both new tyres, like going around this circuit, so really impressed with how close it's got. And let's not forget the cost imbalance as well.
I think that's the big thing, when you look at, if you're looking at it purely as a cost point of view, how much you've saved and how much, how many more sets of tyres that buys you, how many more track days that buys you, sets of brakes.
So I mean, you're at least 40 grand less after the modifications. So to be at the same pace for that sort of money, I think is just awesome, and we're not even finished yet.
No, I mean, if you have that and a 40 grand sat next to it, you're going to be very hard pushed to walk and put the keys up for that one, aren't you?
I think
it doesn't matter who you are.
Especially with that sort of drive. I mean, we are going to get to work on that as well, so I am really excited to see what we can actually do to that car, because obviously there is potential hiding there that we're going to unlock.
Yeah, but the fact that we've got, the Halo car, as then the perceived less car, to the same pace, for less money, it's going to be, you're starting at a different level, but the fact we've managed to bring that one up, impressive. All the bits that we've done to the car that you guys have made, put through it, and we've had the pleasure of, driving and developing and seeing how it goes. I've had a great time doing it, and I look forward to seeing what, if that's where we can get a lower car to, what's a higher car going to get to?
Well, exactly. I know, I'm really excited to get stuck into that. So, yeah, really pleased with how today's turned out. I mean, we did not know coming into this what was going to happen, and blown away by the fact that is the exact same pace with a 6-speed manual versus the 7-speed PDK box. We knew we were going to be down on power, down on gearbox, and down on aero. So to actually match pace is phenomenal, because that just shows how well that thing goes through corners now. But we're not finished there. So next stage for this car, we're going to be upgrading the aerodynamics to get even more downforce, to get up to 3RS or beyond levels of downforce. And down the line, we're going to also be taking a look at those gear ratios to really get it into the sweet spot out on track. So we are absolutely not finished with this car. Plenty more to do. And this has probably only fueled my desire to push even harder, just to keep on going. Now I know how close we're getting to the top.
I think it's, let's see where we can go with it.
So if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.